displayed each time the handbook is booted up. It's believed that no handbooks were involved to carry out the murders this time. Okay, so that's your review. Let's do it. Yeah, I think someone put that shit in Hero's room, but we'll see how it goes. Here we go.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
Why?
So, your votes will determine the results.
We already know. Yeah, I gotta switch auto on.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer, or before anything else, we have to make that clear? Make your argument. Here's a message.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Okay.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they...
No, that's wrong. Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he is not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What? Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit.
It was Hiro.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course he passes it off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
I got it!
The Illuminati.
Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense! You just said Hiro didn't do it!
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption! And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Taka's body, yeah, the tarp.
I got it!
Still one more thing. And the dolly.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with that attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Wow.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
What? Maybe I can change her mind. Well, sure. Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see an ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the Y button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Well, it's a good thing I got that reload then, huh? Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked you are. Oh, really? However, you can reload by pressing the X button. Just like locking on, you will have to press the X button in time with the tempo marker. Okay. Basically, just remember that the X button now has a function along with the A and Y buttons. Okay. You will automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. Okay. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Good luck, have fun. Debating the Cold Queen here.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere.
Shit.
I cannot agree.
I almost lost that.
This should prove it.
Shit, dude, I'm gonna have to be real careful now. I used my fever time
You're
too
asking
quick.
for proof that the dolly moved. I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Like, why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? Robo-Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the
Oh,
body
come
and
on.
it off, right?
I meant to shoot the other statement.
Shoot!
Alright.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp.
Okay, maybe not.
Shoot!
Alright, I'll let the whole thing play out.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
There it is.
No, it's wrong.
Just had to be more patient.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together, remember?
Blind is a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. It seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance the costume was taken off to move the body because you can't take it off by yourself.
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
Robo Justice. I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help. Why would you make something if you can't take it off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid freaking thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting out. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think I can get it off on my own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that?
How'd she take the picture?
Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice, that's why I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Sakura, Sergi, no
Plus,
cuts.
maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon
Sheik,
became
what's up,
clear
girly?
that this same Robo-Justice
Welcome
had
back.
abducted Hifumi.
I'm glad you got to see me go through this.
We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
Yeah, I'm gonna try to play once a day, 1 chapter a day until Tuesday, or Monday rather. So we'll see how that goes. I'm basically living my life
When
to try to
Celeste
beat this
told us
game
that,
right now.
We decided to split up and search the 2nd floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? This was a rather intense scream for someone like you. Strange costume man. Oh, it gets rougher after this? This case is already pretty rough for me. Shit. I already almost lost the duel to
and
Celeste.
then,
I was like half a bar away. What was that? Came from downstairs, it must have been. Fumi, he's in the nurse's office.
at that point we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time. Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Fumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
Exceptionally.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
How are you doing, Sheik?
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth to the case, I have to find them no matter what. Make your arguments. Monokuma file.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
More numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Okay, I think I have to go backwards.
Regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if he... Or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
Oh, fuck, dude.
What makes you say that?
Okay, I gotta get better at
Numbering of the
this.
Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3.
Let me see the guesses here. 3 people guessed Celeste, 1 people guessed Aoi. And personally, I think it was Celeste along with Alter Ego.
While Taka's death...
But if there were different murders, then it could have been Hifumi as one of the killers, but we'll see how it goes.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
so, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
Fucking A, dude. I don't have that fucking energy to do this.
Say that.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
No, that's wrong because what's-his-face's watch was broken at 6. Okay, I think I got it now.
So,
It's gonna take 2
regarding
though.
Taka's death,
I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice.
Got it.
No, it's wrong. Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. Something that relates to what time? Yeah, the watch. Yeah, I gotta do this shit. Wristwatch. Ah, shit.
Now I understand.
Super Saiyan Taco. It was funny, dude. It was really funny.
Wristwatch.
That was like the best part of that trial.
Look, it broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
Genocide Jill's really
It
cool.
must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Yeah, she chased us around trying to kill us. Well, apparently trying to hurt us, not kill us. How long were you gonna keep us waiting? Hold on. We gotta look at this. Okay. Oh, this guy? Yeah, no, this was so funny. He kind of started channeling
so
Mondo a
if it
little
wasn't
bit.
broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
It was pretty weird.
And that would be his official time of death.
Super
But if
Saiyan.
that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size.
Yeah, right. Sakura's pretty
That
crazy.
way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's
Yeah, I
death.
remember that part, yeah.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
What was that? Came from downstairs, it must have been. Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
Chic. That's a good thing,
That's
though.
true. Where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office
I know what
because of
happened now.
Hifumi going missing.
I know what happened to Hifumi.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Still not sure about Taka.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
Kyoko's your wife?
And according to what Celeste said,
Mine's Hina, but Hina's kind of being dumb right now. Could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So the killer was able to get in, move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time. It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
That's what I was thinking.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is... we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
I figured that too when I saw the blood
Alive?
inside the refrigerator.
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Amy was still alive. Is it really possible? Hey, you want to do Kyoko? $90, yeah.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement...
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Shit, I shouldn't be challenging her.
Shoot!
I wonder if I gotta do that stupid bullet switch
Are
thing.
you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh yeah.
Saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office,
Now I got
there's a chance
three
he
more
was actually
guesses.
still alive?
No, it is impossible.
What about someone else's discovery? Wouldn't it have to be 3 people though? So who could be the 3 people with Taka? Oh, maybe it was Byakuga, Toko / Genocide, and Sakura.
Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Got it.
No, that's wrong.
Yes.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. Huh? He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Second body discovery announcement. First time it plays was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. And the second time was when... Shit, I forget when it was, honestly. Was it before he came to life or after he came to life? Fuck it.
I got it!
Yeah.
We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic.
I like how the
I've ever
thing,
heard.
the moon thing, in behind her makes it look
I
like
do
she
not
has
think
demon
there's
horns.
anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Still alive. The Portal song was playing.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom,
Makoto did
his
it.
body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved,
Here it is.
other than the change in how it was positioned,
Maybe next.
there was no notable difference.
Wrecked.
No, that's wrong. In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
There it is.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles.
Princess Piggles.
From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
How did Hiro make it this far?
It does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead,
Hiro's a stoner.
what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
Nah, it's a blood in the refrigerator.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere!
Keep Hiro alive.
But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
Oh, Hiro had to take the fall, right?
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained.
Hifumi did
It
it?
should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
I got it! It could only have been
Sakura did it.
Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository.
So he killed Taka?
So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of
yeah,
Taka's
that's
lifeless
true.
body?
I got it! You're talking about the
Yeah,
note
right.
Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
He just swallowed it.
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants.
I got it!
Taka.
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right?
Hifumi's pants.
So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy! Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Alright. I'm actually taking out Alter Ego. And even if Alter Ego was at fault, I don't think we want to mention him in front of Monokuma anyways, unless Monokuma already knows. His glasses, cleaning cloth, broken wristwatch.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No,
Got
it's wrong! No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered.
Objection.
We've already proven that using his wristwatch.
Yeah, I was waiting for the 6 a.m. thing.
But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that...
No further objections!
Me too, actually. I've always wanted to play those.
Someone used that note to trick Taka, just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster, telling people they found a way out.
And targeting the two simplest
They
people.
gave the note to Taka. What was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse.
Yeah, I'll
after
probably
his
stream
death.
it sometime, Sheik. Maybe once we're done with this series.
He stole it?
Where's your proof?
It should be
Go
fun.
ahead, show us.
Alright, it has to be the torn note, right? There it is.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his
San
lifeless
Maru's
hand was
back.
gripping
What's
a small
up?
scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece
Yeah, I'm
came
gonna
from
stream
is-
that too.
I knew it!
I'm buying that the day it's released.
With the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
We're gonna have some fun with that.
Then Taka's scrap...
But I still gotta beat the second game.
Hifumi's note...
And possibly the
From the
spin-off.
same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note.
Oh, serious? Yeah, I'm not doing the demo yet because I don't want to potentially spoil myself for the first or second game, so that's why. But I'll do the demo eventually.
There's only one way to explain it.
Shit, I didn't see what she said. What'd she say? Talk good, scrub teammates, fits perfectly. Okay. Taco, scrub, the same piece of paper. Okay.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip.
Oh, it isn't connected to the rest of the games? Okay, yeah, I'll try it out then.
Leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
Oh, really? So they're not get. Wait, wasn't there a third game though? I thought there was a third in the series, like a real third.
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
So is it gonna be the same story?
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah.
3 is
After
anime
seeing
only.
all-
Oh, really? That sucks. Why not?
In fact,
They said they weren't gonna
he
do
was
that?
behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository.
Oh, that's too bad.
So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished.
Oh, weird.
Before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body.
Okay, hold on. Whoever did this is the mastermind. He was killed in the repository. So much been killed not long after transporting Taka's body. They must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository. During that time, we'd all split up. We were searching for Taka's missing body.
In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
She really hates her.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Walrus.
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
It's all good.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, The culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Ifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Yoshihiro, baby.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments.
The V3 demo does have a character from 2 in it, but it's just fan service and he won't be in the actual game. Okay.
But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear till we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. Hello, Sheik, thank you so much. Spotless hammer. But what else do you expect from this series after the bit you've played? Yeah.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
It is the anime stuff
Was it
too.
Justice Hammer 3?
So,
Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers!
I just guessed. Thanks to Sheik. Thank you so much, Sheik. You're
The
awesome.
murder weapon
You've been so
wasn't
good
a
to me.
Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely
I
different.
gotta hand out insanity
But-
too.
Seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris.
Even ever have questions, shoot you a whisper and catch you during a stream. And you will help with continuality questions. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones,
Oh, that's so Sheik.
and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
3 miniseries down.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but Make your argument. Swallow's hammer.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Okay, I think I got it now.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true.
Yes, I guessed right.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents.
That makes sense.
And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
Huh.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so
Yeah, that would be weird,
You think
Sheik.
so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The main character. That was the main characteristic this time. Yoga must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. Which is why she said to look at the series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. He never clarifies it. When you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
Yeah. And then murdered him. The debates up till now, the way the case is unfolded when you consider all that. There's really one person who seems to fit. Celeste!
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
Select yourself.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Countering the suspicious individual.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual.
Why would you look dumb?
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Yep.
We headed to the second floor
Oh, really?
specifically
That's too
because
bad.
of what she claimed to have seen.
Well, I'm sure you're beautiful nonetheless, though.
Next, to draw us all to the physics lab. up
Like,
on
I
the
couldn't do a
third
gothic
floor.
look either, so...
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... You could do a Kyoko, yeah. Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. Very well then, Makoto and Hina come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working...
Oh, Sheik, real quick, I don't know if she's still here, she probably is. Vanilla Bunny in the chat, She did a silver hair one time that looked pretty good. It's in the Discord. I forget what she said she used, but it was a fairly complicated thing, and I think she did it like multiple times. Yeah, I'll just go read it real quick for you. You could try it out. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see here. Here it is. Hi, Vanilla Bunny. How long did it take to get your hair silver? I had my natural black and dark brown hair. It took 2 bleachings and toning to get it that color. And if you want to see the color, I'll open it for you. Hold on, I gotta add the capture. Sorry guys, I know we're pausing from the game, but Sheik's been nice to me, so I should be nice to her. Display capture. Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. Not display capture. I need window capture. Add. Oh shit, I forgot. This is like really bad in Chrome. I have to do it in fucking Firefox. Hold on. For some reason, Discord or OBS doesn't like capturing stuff in Chrome. I've never figured out why. Alright, here we go. So that's what her hair looked like. I don't know if that's the silver you're going for, but it's pretty fucking sweet. Anyways. Back to the killing game. Inception style. Oh yeah, Inception.
And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't
color.
it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah, Sheik, do you have Discord? You could ask her. It's like obvious ploys, but if you want to roll into my Discord, she's in there. You could ask her there and then just send her a message. Or you could send her like a Twitch message too. That works. Either way.
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Alright, let me read that again. Okay. 15 Discord
Each
servers.
piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
I think I'm on 6 or 7.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. Yeah, I don't even do the Twitch servers. We're all gonna die here. We're all gonna die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention.
Near
Sakura,
birth, huh?
Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office.
Yeah, the emotes,
Now,
yeah.
the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
I noticed it at the time, remember?
Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
So this comment doesn't make sense. What's he alluding to? Well, it's because how did she know that they were dead? Or he was dead, Taka was dead. Hey, let me read the file. The cause of death for each was a blow to the head. They just thought they were both killed with a similar weapon.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
Just like those guys died. All of us. Shit, what's the word soup there?
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and... They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Ah, fuck. I guess I have to do it backwards.
Shoot!
Okay.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be... We are going to die.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
Okay.
No, that's wrong.
Thought you could hit it with the other, but oh well.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never
Yeah, Sky
any
did go
chance
to the
for her to
crapper
have
for a
seen
long
his body
time.
in the equipment room for herself.
That program is so crappy. I don't
So
know.
how
Is
did
it
you
better
know,
now?
Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Nice, thanks, Jake.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying
Oh,
when I
forced
told you about
ads.
the suspicious person
I quit
saw.
before that even happened.
Then what about the picture I took?
When they redid everything after Microsoft bought them, so you need a Microsoft account. That was fucking annoying. I basically had to give another account because trying to get my old account back, because I didn't remember the password, you had to go through Microsoft instead of Skype now, and it was just too much bullshit. And then so I had a Microsoft account, and then it was just like the quality and all that. It just went downhill after a while. So.
How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right?
Yeah.
So let's put the suit on, and then use the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus,
Yeah.
I happen to know that this particular
It's about a year and a half
does
for
not
me.
have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Yeah.
Surely there are other
Discord's kicking it.
explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations. There wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. The only other possibility is... suspect away. Suspect are dancing. Had been drinking. Hifumi's dragging the suspect away.
I got it!
Yeah, okay.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility.
Oh, the beta version? That would be nice.
The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around.
I can't believe Hifumi did
And this
this.
strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing
10%.
is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
No way Hifumi dragged the suspect away. But is that really possible?
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Have the arms bend like this?
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way! You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no...
You can stand up straight. Unconscious, stand up straight. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
No, that's wrong.
Because they wouldn't let his weight go forward too much.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Yeah, I do that
Because
too,
Robo
Sheik.
Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing.
All I know about this is ignore notes that are slipped under your door.
Make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
It's always a bad idea.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Who was it that attacked Hifumi? Who killed me? That's right. I remember their name. Yasu. Hiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said,
Yeah, right.
and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Right, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used
Yeah, our
to
accent
talk
did
to us.
disappear, huh?
How did he refer to each of us?
Said people's last names.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I?
Her voice actress got a lot less sexy.
I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celestia still won't give up, so then have to do something to make her accept it. Beat her ass. Is this a duel? Maybe not. E-handbook, spotless hammer, Yoshihiro's message.
He was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How's it backwards?
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Yep.
What's wrong? That's it! The handbook!
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
The handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Yep, it's her.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened?
I like Celeste, too.
Just tell us.
Actually, I didn't.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it.
Here we go.
Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Will it actually, though? Me and her had a debate early, so maybe we want to have the debate. Alright, so here's Yoshihiro. How did the killer recruit their accomplice? Was it seduction? Why is the poster here? I don't know, actually. What time did the killers and their victim kill their victim, call their victim to the rec room? 6. Who was it that the killer summoned first? Yeah, I see that too, Linky. They knocked him out, then stuffed him into Robo-Justice suit to falsify their evidence. And they used a certain item to do it. Camera. What time was Taka supposed to head to the equipment room? Oh, my bad. I had the clock wrong. Okay. The Justice Hammer that was used to kill Taka, which number was it? I think it was 3. What's up, Eclipse? Welcome back. In the library, Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a shadowy criminal. I don't know what the fuck that is. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back to that one. I don't know. Rub. Which Justice Hammer was in the nurse's office when Hifumi was pretending to be dead? 4. Right? Yeah. Join me. Hifumi used something to move Taka's body. The weapon that the killer used to murder Hifumi, which was it? Justice Hammer 2. Alright, let's go over the ones I don't have. Your friend? You hang out with your friend this late? Good lord. In this case, how did the killer recruit their accomplice? Was it seduction? That can't be the fucking poster. What is that? That's that thing that Leon threw, right? You think Celeste seduced him? Or was it food? Didn't he say something about the peanuts that were like really fiery or something? Alright. I'm gonna pretend he got seduced. Well, I know, but isn't it like 2 a.m. or something over there? Or actually, it's like morning almost, huh? In the library, Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a shadowy criminal. Oh, I said, what's your friend doing over there so late? So maybe it was in his backpack? Yeah. I don't think this is right, but we'll try it out. Let's see which one we got right and which one we didn't. I got a couple chances at it.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
I see.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro.
Hero's lucky they didn't
The
kill him.
murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
I can't believe Hifumi did that, dude. Wow.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
Man. Alright, so I laid out the wrong hammer, apparently. So it had to be Justice Hammer 4, then? Okay. How do I move that out? There we go. Okay, so... Justice Hammer 4. So this one has to be Justice Hammer 3.
Here's exactly what happened.
Hey, I got the hammers wrong.
And that's where Hifumi killed him,
I got-
making it the scene of the first
I
murder.
gotta give it to Taka, he didn't break. I thought he was gonna be the one to murder somebody.
The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But
Yeah. Okay, so what's wrong then? Athena used something to fake the existence of a shadowy criminal. Bloody hammer? Peanuts? Is it one of the other things? Justice Hammer 2. Fake the existence of a shadowy criminal. Existence of a shadowy criminal. Well... It's not the tarp. So it has to be one of the Justice Hammers? Oh, what about this? Okay. And then maybe this one was Justice Hammer 2. Alright.
Here's exactly what happened. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library.
It's 2 AM over there?
This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2.
Yeah, I'm on the West Coast, Sheik. You probably know that, though. You were telling me about the system you were buying, or building.
Killers were able to create a certain
So I'm sure you read the rest of my page.
That the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time.
That was incredibly
So when
fortunate
we heard
timing
the
for
body
them.
discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappear. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
What's up with the roses? It was Alpha. The fuck?
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
I wonder why she told, what's his face her real name. Oh, surprise, I got A's there. Interesting. Big host from Bugs is bad. What's up, bro? 100 coins.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Exclamation
What's it gonna
played.
be? What's it gonna be?
What's something I'll find out later? You're talking to someone else. Exclamation uptime, good point. It was basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. Goddamn, this trial took forever. The Blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole Steeken scheme was... Celestia Ludenberg, or to be more precise, Taiko Yasuhiro. Oh, why she knew his real name? I gotcha. I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan? But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would happily agree to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. What's wrong, Eclipse? My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Then did you use, you know... I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right to get Hifumi to act as my accomplice.
Indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing that Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... Is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt, we're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words...
Then you're the one that stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually...
I was hoping I could talk to you alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What?
What?
Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it. Oh, she played them both against each other. Wow. What?
So then...
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I had shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
Gurn, so it was him. But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got too close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
As for me...
Please forgive me, he threatened me.
Oh,
He did.
As for me...
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
And he took pictures and said if I do not do as he asked, he would show them to everybody. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime. I mean, I knew he'd gotten a little crazy, but
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how he completely bought it, I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. Going to fucking kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please. If you go now, you will be playing right into his hands.
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean. Taka is gonna try to kill you.
indeed.
What? And all he can't. And also he can keep him to hers. Keep her to himself. That bastard.
This is unforgivable. Completely
Bastard.
unforgivable.
Bastard, bastard, bastard.
Honestly,
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I? She.
I swear I will save her!
actually,
Then would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. Shit, man. So Hifumi got duped. And with that, it is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love that's twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was to make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid? That's it.
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry. I don't think he's as stupid as he lets on, but whatever.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she is asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded, he was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that. Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained, it is Hifumi, the plan was. While you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent, in fact. Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can a human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money?
Hmm.
Are you talking about the $10 million Monokumi offered us? That is a lot of money, true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new lives began here, my only thought has been escape. But all along, you've been saying how we had to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously, that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it, hated it from day one. More than anyone else here.
You little bitch!
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why, huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on the dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. Which line, Lunky? In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me...
And it was all for that dream. And what was that dream of yours?
Isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men for all over the world to serve as my butlers slash bodyguards. You little bitch. Oh, that one, yeah. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but...
There is nothing to be done.
Unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why wouldn't I?
Just the worst.
Why would I? You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it.
Oh.
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
Do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room to understand.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying, and plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unraveled, and I take pride in that. Unrivaled, okay. But she said unraveled. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared.
Yes, indeed.
That's right, I don't feel death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then...
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey.
You just get executed again. Celeste smiled then. And when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings. But that statement itself must have been her final lie. Alright guys, so Celeste ends up being the killer, so let me go ahead and reward the people who guessed it was Celeste. Number 1 was Vanilla Bunny. That was you. You get 500 points. Number 2 was Linky. You get 500 points. Good job, guys. I guessed as well, but I was wrong about the accomplice, though. It was Hifumi. But that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Chills! Chills!
You all done? Okay, then let's get rolling. The Blackened disturb the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler. You want an award, Sheik? I'll give you an award here. You get a little less though, but still. I have given you stuff for the bits you've been donating to. So. The ultimate gamblers.
Let's give it everything we've got.
Punishment.
It's punishment time.
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way.
You give her the key to her room.
Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone.
Later, Celeste. She played to win.
Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Makoto. Dick Dick Murr, thanks for the follow, sir. Someday. Oh, he gave her a castle. I thought he'd give her like a gambling machine. Oh, they're gonna burn her. Well, she got her castle, huh? And she got some gothic music. It ran her down at the end? What the fuck? How about that? Sheesh. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I can't also deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone could cut free of their regrets from the outside world, so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I can throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
Yeah, I'll do one tomorrow, probably early afternoon my time, West Coast, so maybe around like 5-ish or so your time, Sheik. You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. By the way, if you were really doing a cheer, it didn't go through. So, it's sad, yes it is, but the reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyways, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey! Hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm guessing the next chapter is gonna take at least 8 hours, too. This one actually took 10. But actually, you know what? It did take 8, because I was doing stuff from chapter 2 over, so... That's the way it goes. We've been streaming for 10 hours. I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? You got that space. Thanks so much, Sheik. 50 trash to everybody in the chat. Oh my god, I just made a cardinal mistake. Fuck it, 50 trash to everyone in the chat. Fuck it. What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
Ew.
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh.
Ah, oh man, jeez. Oh man, oh jeez. What do you mean, what did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does it mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well,
Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya later.
See ya. Yes, it's an Animaniacs bot. That was actually, Agent Arnold mentioned it, and I went through all the various bot names, because all the good ones are taken, so I went through Medic bot, regular Nurse bot, I forget, there was a couple others, but eventually we just settled on Hello Nurse bot, because we even have the morals, if you didn't see that, Sheik. I got every moral that was ever read on Animaniacs. You have to do it's either /moral or excuse me, exclamation moral or exclamation morality. You do it because I think there's a cooldown to it. So Monokuma disappeared, leaving all of us depressed and in despair. I'd like to get the Wheel of Morality actually, but that'd be a little tough to do. Although it wasn't all despair. I think it's morality. There was one small hope. Hey Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key that Celeste gave you?
So...
Most likely. It's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? Then that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check. Fuck, I wouldn't be talking about any of this shit. Monokuma still has cameras in here.
Indeed.
Good idea. Yeah, right. That's